Hi, I'm Joseph Ramsey.
I'm Ben Otero.
And we're going to be talking about Night of the Living Dead here on Movie Mania, the first George Romero film of the zombie series.
It started the whole craze, back when it was filmed.
It did. And it was a good movie. It's very...
It uses shadows a lot.
Very much so.
Horizontal shadows, vertical.
A lot of light. Because it was in black and white, there was a lot of lights.
They could have shot it in color.
They could,
but they didn't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they didn't for... I think they could have.
That's interesting, huh?
I really do.
Yeah. I thought the movie was great. It blends a lot of, and I know obviously these movies came after it, but I think of a lot of like The Thing That Came from Outer Space and meets Dawn of the Dead, and it was like the mix of that.
Yeah.
And I really like that because, over the Zombiethon, I've gotten a new appreciation for zombie movies that I didn't realize I had before. So I'm watching this. I love the
You were a little bit of a skeptic.
I was.
Then you're seeing Dawn of the Dead, the Night of the Living Dead, and it's getting higher and higher. And you're like, wait a minute.
It really was. Like it got.
They're not that bad.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of those classic B cheesy movies, the sci-fi movies, and this was very cool. This was very refreshing, and
for a cheesy B movie. It wasn't that cheesy, man.
No, it really wasn't.
That was a really well-done, tense movie.
The dialogue was great, I thought. I think some of the cast could have done a little bit better. I mean, maybe it was just like a 50s actor thing. But the dad that was in the cellar, I did not like his character. I hated his character.
I think you were supposed to hate his character.
Beyond that, I just didn't think the actor did a very good job.
Okay, you mean
the rest of them, like Ben, did an awesome job.
Thank you. No,
sure. The woman did a great job. She was in shock through most of the movie because her boyfriend.
Yeah, that was a little weird. She didn't have that much dialogue in the beginning. She was just sort of there.
Yeah, she was just like trying to survive in that like cabin thing. So it was
a cabin in the woods.
A cabin in the woods. How many more times are we going to talk about a cabin in the woods?
A lot.
It's a movie that I think. It has staying power. A lot of movies you can go back and watch later on, and they're not really that good. They don't hold up. But this one,
holds up.
It held up very well. And, I really think that this movie is just going to keep doing the same thing. This movie did reinvent the zombie genre, even though I do.
It almost created it.
It almost did, yeah. One of the things that I noticed in it...
zombie movies back then, like White Zombie, for example.
Right.
But this is the first actual zombie movie.
It is, and
actually popularized the genre.
I like the fact that they didn't really know what was going on. The news team, when they were talking, they kept talking about the murderers. They weren't zombies; they were murderers who were like eating their people.
Exactly,
their people.
They did not know they were dead or anything.
Exactly, the zombie thing hadn't been brought up yet. Yeah. At least not at that point, or at least brought to the mainstream. And I thought it was so cool to sit there and see them just trying to kind of like figuring it out.
You never see movies do that anymore.
No,
it's always like, oh, this is a zombie.
Exactly.
We know it's a dead
and all of them.
Yeah.
They're all used to it at this point.
This is the
Walking
first
Dead.
one.
Yeah, the Walking Dead has never called any of them a zombie. I don't know if you've ever noticed
walkers or biters.
They're
I find
they're
that
walkers,
a little corny, but yeah.
You have to believe they've already known what's going on.
Yeah.
What
did you think of the end? Depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I thought it was extremely depressing. Like
who saw that coming?
Who would have? Yeah. It's an ending that I have to give them respect because that at that point took over. It just went very well into Dawn of the Dead, where the zombies are now taking over and things like that. Yeah. I think that the localized nature of this movie was very cool. It was night. This was a new thing for them, and it was something that it just kind of took place in that little small town. That's all you knew. It was just in that little part. It was there. But when you go look at movies like Dawn of the Dead and everything like that, Dawn, they're starting to take over. Zombies, the zombie apocalypse is starting to get going.
Covers more ground.
It does.
Each movie goes out until you get Day of the Dead, and it's the whole world, they say, is gone.
Exactly. There's nothing really left.
You have to live underground.
Yeah.
And then that gets taken over too. So
there's nowhere safe anymore, I'm telling you. But if you had to give this movie any final thoughts or final number, what would you give it?
I would give it an 8. I liked it. And it did some interesting things with lighting. I thought it was really good.
Okay.
Brought up a lot of tension.
It did.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Really.
I really enjoyed it as well. Probably not as much, but the dialogue was a huge standout for me. The scenes where they're arguing and everything like that, just fantastic. It was really good stuff.
Yeah.
You really did believe that this is a real argument that we would have. if we were dealing with a cabin full of zombies, or cabin inside
in the woods.
Yeah. So overall, I'd probably give it a 7.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm Joe.
I'm Ben.
And this has been Movie Mania talking about Night of the Living Dead.